He's got a big brain, Eric, that's his name. A Fortnite quest, he's seeking fame in the state tournament. He aims to win, representing New You. He'll defeat the sin with his skills and strategy.
I see this, and I'm very grateful and humbled by it, that it's a privilege. And this is what a lot of people don't realize, that this is really a privilege because it is very special and unique, and it is precious. Very, very precious, like a child, like the innocence of a child. It is totally precious. And it just depends upon how long a person takes to see that, as opposed to just collecting the information and knowledge that I'm presenting. That's just the first part. That's just the first step. And the experiences, you know, again, let's just look at the one you just had here, Eric, and the one you had last week in the car wash and stuff like that. That's all fine. But, you know, life's bigger than that. But you need those experiences because you're going to rack them up to eventually have a bigger view of what's going on and comparisons. You need a lot of comparisons to this, to that, and whatever, to eventually start to see this invisible reality. It takes a heck of a lot. Think of it like a tree growing. Once you plant that seed, you know, and if it's going to be a 500-foot redwood, it's going to take a while to get there. That's how real it is. You ain't going to do it overnight. And so every time you think that, oh, I got it, or this or that, you'll think that a million times, and guess what? You'll never have it. Because that ain't it.
I bet if I was a tree, I could grow really fast.
Well, see, again, that's in your mind. So again, see, that's how the personal self is. And that's fine. You can decide whatever you want, but that has nothing to do with what life is.
Have you been a tree before?
Yeah, I was a tree for a long time, for probably centuries.
Oh, wow.
I went through
What was
that.
that like?
Trees are awesome because, again, look at a tree. And they're just there every moment.
I was thinking of what it was like to be a tree.
Yeah, they're just being. And no, this is what life is. It's being. It's being and seeing. It's seeing and being. But to recognize the position. So first, you can be the tree, but you don't have the recognition of that. You see? That's the difference. So it's just like, you know, as you come through as a baby. You've seen little babies, 6 months, a year old. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of ugly.
Yeah, they're babies, and you see them, but they don't recognize, Eric, that they're babies, do they? No, they don't recognize that. Yeah, see, that's the difference.
I feel like they're not trying enough.
The what?
They're not trying enough.
That's not it. It's just that you're encapsulated and you have no reference. You have no reference to recognize. See, you need a reference. When you go to the library and you want to find a book, where do you go? The reference section. You need the reference section to find that book where it's at in the library.
Well, if I'm looking for a book, I would go to the section where the book is.
Yeah, you can walk up and down the aisles, but wouldn't it be easier to walk to the reference section and then go right to it? See, again, you have...
It'd be easiest to like use the computer that's in there and it'll tell me where it is.
Same thing. That's your reference section. You see, you have a reference. Now, if you don't have that, then you got to go around and try and find that book individually. And if nothing's marked, if it's just a bunch of books and thousands of shelves, well, it's going to take you a while to find it, isn't it? If ever. Yeah. So you have a reference
Well, typically
section.
they're organized by author.
Well, yes, I'm saying that. There's the comparison where you have things labeled and referenced as opposed to what they're not. So again, when you're born into this world, you don't have any references. You don't have any definitions or anything. You got nothing. You're just a baby. There's laying on your back, looking straight up, and then you don't know what's going on. You don't know these people. You don't remember being born. You know, it takes you a long time to start to figure things out. It takes you years. Yeah. Yeah. So, because you don't have any reference. But little by little, you start gaining a reference. Oh, this is my mom. And you use words as references to refer to mom and dad. You see, little by little, you know, it takes a while. Little by little, when you're first making your first steps, it takes a little while because you're first wobbly at first. But again, and now what you're up against, what you're facing is a challenge like no other, the whole of life. What do you think? You can do that overnight? It's more than creation can ever be. And you got to get through creation first. That's a lot. And most people don't make it. So they got to go
Yeah,
through
but I will.
That's
In fact,
fine.
I feel
That's
like
fine.
maybe we should make like the Rod of Power 2 the sequel.
That's all made up stuff, you know. See,
Oh, there can't be a sequel.
that's all made up stuff. So again,
Okay.
that sounds good, but you know, I look to see what the is. I'm not interested in making things up. That what does that mean?
So there can only be one Rod of Power and you have it.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. Life is what it is. That's more
Life's
real.
awareness.
That's more real. Okay, so whatever that idea is, and I changed the name to The New Wave Is. Okay, so because the boys didn't like that anymore, and I understand because, see, power is a misunderstanding, and power usually means abuse, and power is only in creation. It is not in the real universes, because the real universe is awareness. There's no power.
But if you change the name, then why'd you call it the Rod of Power earlier? That's just like confusing, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is that so are the three letters that I use, because again, I'm trying to, in a way, break up the distortion
Like
of
what
people's
three letters?
literalized minds, because they've been literalized to see things one-dimensionally. And so I have created my own language for people to try and figure out according to their
Try and figure
intuition,
out. It's pretty accurate.
intuition and
It's kind of
awareness
confusing, you know what I mean?
to your mind. It's only confusing to your mind, and most minds won't accept it because they don't want to go past their mind. See, most people want to just stay with their mind, so that's fine. But what I'm referring to has nothing to do with your mind. It starts off with your intuition and then into your real awareness. And so that's my reference. I've created references. That's what my words and ideas are about and what I present. It's not a teaching. It's not a this or that. These are references to the true reality. They are hints. All hints. Yeah, that's the fun part. See,
But there's no truth. That's just your reality. That doesn't necessarily have to be my reality.
no, you decide whatever you want. But the difference is, Eric,
And in my reality, there's a Rod of Power 2.
that's your personal life. See, again, I'm trying to explain it to you, but you keep going back to your mind. And so the thing
Yeah, but
is,
I can decide, right?
your mind decides. That's your personal life. That has nothing to do with what life is.
Could you draw a flow chart? I feel like that would really help clear things up.
I have those things already in images. You just have to see them. They're in images.
Can you pull one of the flow charts here?
It's not a flow chart. It's
Well,
something.
I feel like a flow chart would help. I don't really
No,
think
you
like a
want
text
it very
block would
literal.
help.
I get it, but you got to slow down. Okay.
Well, you have to make it clear. I feel like that's something you could work on. You know what I mean?
No, you can create a flow chart. See, because it's your.
Yeah, but I don't understand it. I'm trying to understand it through a flow chart. You know what I mean?
Okay, so it's just like going to school. You will not understand to read or write until you practice reading and writing. Isn't that funny? So you have to practice what you want until you get it. So you have the basic idea, and I've, I got the books and stuff, so you utilize that. And when I was with Paul, I read a lot. I taught classes,
Did Paul make a
etc.
flowchart?
Yeah, he made different things. Yeah, he made his own creations.
Can you
Okay.
show me his flowchart?
No, I don't use any of his stuff.
Why not? He's like the guy who gave you the world of power. I mean, the new
No,
wave is
no,
when,
no, that's old. That's old stuff. That's like me showing you the
Wait, what?
Constitution of the United States. What the hell good is that? Yeah, I know what a flow chart looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounded like you didn't.
Again, listen to the words that I'm saying. Okay? And stop assuming through your mind. Just listen to the words that I am saying and stop misinterpreting. And I know that's going to be hard.
Well,
Okay,
you said
look
it's a
what you got.
flowchart. I was
What you
listening
got
to you,
here.
but it's not a flowchart.
Let's look at your flow chart. Okay. These are
Okay.
symbols. These are
Yeah.
symbols. Okay. All right. Now let's compare it to what I just showed you.
Well, there are also words. I don't know if you got that.
Well, there's more than words there. Look at the imagery that's set up. Now,
The symbols
want-
are just like they're a reference, if you will.
you're not getting it yet. See, you're not getting it because your mind keeps jumping out, Eric. So you're
Oh,
going
it's still
to
in.
you're going to listen to your mind is what you're going to do. So for the longest time, for many, many years. Okay, let's pretend we're in a room. Okay, let's just
I'm in
pretend.
a room right now, though.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to
And then
pretend.
this flow chart that you just showed me is on one of your walls. Okay, the whole
Sure.
wall is this flow chart. Okay,
Okay.
just imagine that. You have an imagination that goes to your real awareness. It's not your mind. Okay, it's your awareness. That's what the imagination
imagining.
is. Yeah, and see,
Also,
you
imagine
haven't been told that. You see, you've been told that, oh, imagination, as long as it's according to your mind, it's okay. But if you start imagining other things, well, that's not okay. Then that becomes fantasy or illusion. That's not true. It's all the same thing. So in other words, okay, so you're in a room and this flow chart that you showed me, whatever you want to call it, I mean, there's different kinds. I've never even seen one like this, but it doesn't matter. This is on your wall, okay?
Okay.
All right, this is on your wall, and this is what you'd look at every day because you're thinking, oh, this is my flow chart, okay? Whatever it means to you. Now, for me, I'd rather put this picture that I put up on my wall.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't need the flow chart because, again,
Well, the flow chart is to help make it make sense. You know what I mean? Because I'm not getting it based on just the words that you're saying. I feel like I need like a visual representation with a flow chart to understand.
In other words, this is where it's. Remember, I said 50 years.
Because this poster you're showing just looks like a bunch of text with a weird man, and oh, that's Revizor. Fuck. With Revizor in the middle.
Yeah, I don't expect people to get it, but I'm still going to make the imagery. I designed this. I designed all of this from what I see.
You could make a flow chart.
What I see. No, because a flow chart is literal, and I don't want to do literal things because it keeps people literal. I'm not going to,
Is this text not literal, though? Because it's just text.
Eric, it's kind of funny, all this stuff. That's like telling a prisoner that's in a cell with bars and saying, hey, I'm going to let you out and you're going to be free. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to open the door. We're going to let you out of your cells. You're going to walk through the bars. And then I take the person over to the next cell and put them in there and lock them in. And I say, see, I freed you from your cell.
That's
but
true.
Actually, what I did is I put them right back into another cell.
That can also be true.
The same cell. And so this is why I don't do flow charts, because
you hate flow charts.
It's all literal. It's all literal.
Flow charts are just like prisons.
You need that for your mind, but that is not the reference, because when you look at your flow chart here, You don't see anything else but something for your mind, your one-dimensional mind.
Well, it would make sense more.
No,
There's just so many
you're
moving
only
parts with
thinking
it.
that it would make sense for you only, but it doesn't make sense for me, so I won't do it. See,
Yeah, but
that's
like
why
you're on another level.
that's why
That's why you don't share your experiences, right? Because we won't get them. So you got to share things we will get. You know what I mean?
well, because they're invisible, and how can you've
What
got to learn to see
flowchart?
them. You have to learn to see them. You see,
Flowcharts.
it's different. So again, this is where you will create things for yourself that help you
Yeah,
relate
but I
to
don't get it.
you
You're
what?
the one who gets it, bro. You got to make
No,
the flowchart so that I can get it.
no. You went to school, you had teachers, they gave you homework assignments, and when they did you tell the teacher, hey, teach, do the assignment for me because I don't understand what you're saying? Well, that's not the
Nope, they would like
idea.
help me through an assignment. You know what I mean? If I went there and I said, "Hey, I'm
Yeah,
having trouble with this problem,"
but you still have to do it, don't you? You got to do
they
it.
can do it with me. Can you work with me to make this flowchart?
I am helping you, but you're not seeing it.
No, you're lecturing me. I'm thinking of like actual
No,
help.
no, you want me to do it for you. No, I've already done it for you. See this image? Ava and I have made thousands of images for
Oh, I
people.
know that.
Thousands,
It makes
thousands, thousands.
it makes
And
flowcharts
so
look very reasonable.
you take the pieces and you start to make whatever it is for you to figure this out. That's what I did. I did when Paul was around in his books.
Wait, I have a
I
question.
I did 30 years of with Eckankar, teaching and reading and whatever to figure it out to the next step, to the rod of power. So again, you're not going to do this overnight. It's going to take you quite a while.
Why does Revizar have his own name on his robe?
Well, that's how we made the picture.
So that's just like an artistic choice.
Yes, we make it.
Oh,
See,
okay.
not only do I give a reference here, but also I make it fun to where it's like artistic and it's fun and it looks really cool. So it
Yeah,
has
but it needs to
many,
make sense. Otherwise, you're just like making stuff. You know what I mean?
when you're talking to a person, when you're talking to a child that's 2 years old and trying to explain something to them, they're not going to get it until they're 20.
If they're two, they're not gonna like remember when they're 20 though. So you gotta
They
like work like.
can, but the thing is, it's going to take them a lot of years from what their parents told them to understand. And then someday they come around and go, well, gee, Dad, all these years, finally I understand what you were telling me all along.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I get you.
Yeah, it takes time.
I feel like a flowchart would help though.
Well, that's your decision. Why do I keep telling you this? The thing is that that's what you want. You want Captain Crunch for breakfast cereal, you eat it.
No, the fuck? I want Apple Jacks, bro.
You want Burger King or whatever, you eat it, okay? I won't be doing that.
What
You
do you,
decide your life. That's your personal life. I'm here to share and show people
but
how to get to their real awareness. And that's what these images are all about. It's not about mentalized flowchart.
dude,
It's about their intuitiveness to get to their real awareness. That's what these images are about. See, again, that's something that you made up about you. You see?
no, that's about us.
No, you decided that. I didn't decide anything in that
Well,
picture.
you said be okay.
See, again, you're looking for every which way to convince yourself. Well, fine. Go ahead and do it. But again, I had nothing to do with this picture. I didn't do any of it. Did I? You did it. It's about you. And that's fine.
It's about, I made it about us though.
Well,
without
you
the
did it. See,
awareness.
you're doing it. There's part of your flow chart right there. However you want to do it, Eric, that's your life. You
That's
do it.
not a
And
flow
I did the
chart.
same thing.
I'm trying
I
to show
did
you
the
what a
same
flow chart
thing.
is.
I did the same thing when I started off with Paul at 22. I did the same thing. I started creating things too, and different things, and I went to the printer, got things printed up, handed out flyers. I did all kinds of things. Yeah. They didn't have computers then. I had to do everything by hand. I had to go to different places. They didn't have internet. I had to drive to places and do talks and lectures and stuff like that. I drove all over the place. I did that for 30 years. Every place I could set up, libraries, schools, colleges, whatever, a community
You went to
room.
colleges? Whoa, that's like high level, man.
Oh yeah, I had classes for many years at Orange Coast College. Yeah.
What was the like turnout? Did you teach people about awareness?
Yeah.
Did they see
Yeah.
the real guys?
It started off with dreams. It was the secret
Did you draw
knowledge
flow
of.
charts?
No, I didn't do charts or anything.
Oh, okay.
It was, I didn't do charts or like Tony Robbins or something drawing things on a board. No, I didn't do any of that. Yeah, I didn't do any of that. None of that. I didn't do any of that stuff.
Maybe you should go back to teaching at colleges.
They what?
Maybe you should go back to teaching at colleges so you can really spread awareness. It just, if I don't win the presidency, which I will,
Well,
you don't really need to worry about it.
the reason that I don't is because it's very difficult to deal with the educational systems. They're very restricting. And we had tried one time when Val was living with me in Huntington Beach before we came to Mexico here. And all we got is resistance. Huge, huge resistance.
How big?
And so I'm creating my own positions in the public to where I don't have to deal with these people that don't know what they're doing.
What was the pushback like? Seems pretty harsh.
The what now?
The pushback you got, the negativity. What was that like?
Well, it just a lot of nonsense drama that wasn't necessary, and no way could we explain our way out of it. It got to the point where they really didn't want us there because, again, see, the Callum God, the dark forces, whatever you want to call it, they work on these people to create agitation, to push us away, and so they did at that time. And I had difficulties off and on like that because this is the life you're in. There's things going on that don't want this to happen, that don't want people to understand this, etc. Constantly, because again, there's a very abusive control that goes on here, consciously and unconsciously and unseen, that most people have no idea as to what's taking place, especially with the Wi-Fi and all that. That's all mind control stuff, and people are being bombarded by subliminals and through the movie industry and your gaming world, etc. And that's why you're confused, because you're getting.
You say to watch the movies. Do you want to mind?
Constantly.
You wouldn't want to mind people.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, here's the idea. Okay, again, Eric. Listen to the words. So, many times you take it a particular way to where you're looking for a contradiction to what I'm saying. Instead of doing that, okay, why don't you learn to recognize what I'm saying instead of looking for a contradiction to what I've said? Do you understand that?
Kind of. Could you make a flow chart of it, though?
So again, it's simply just listen, test what I've told you. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't want it, fine, forget it.
Wait, fuck, that's right. You keep saying not to think. I keep forgetting, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just, it takes a lot of years, just like going to school. You're sitting there in the classroom, the teacher's talking, the teacher's instructing you. You're not up in front of the classroom. You're not standing up every 5 minutes to the teacher. Well, teacher, you said this, and what about this, and what about that? See, that's your mind looking for contradictions. Instead of doing that, just sit down.
Well, that's how some people learn. Do you not like how I learn?
No, no,
Damn.
because you keep interrupting. You're not learning anything except how to be obnoxious.
I don't think I'm obnoxious. I'm trying to learn, bro. You gotta be patient.
Then you have to just let go of your ideas. If you don't know,
But I have them.
leave it alone, because you will know, but you need experience. So you have to understand that. So you're not going to instantly know this stuff through the words. No, it's going to take a while. Just like in school. What did you overnight learn the ABCs and you could write sentences the next day? It took you a lot of years through first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade and into high
I'm pretty
school.
sure I knew the ABCs before high school.
Yeah, but you didn't know how to put words and sentences together and have the meaning to them, did you? So that, and even at your age now, you still don't know that much. So again, yeah, there's always a learning process, but it takes time. So this is something else that has nothing to do with your mind and your flow chart and all that. That's your world, okay? What I'm presenting has nothing to do with any of that, but you can use that if you want. What I'm presenting has to do with your intuition and your awareness. It has nothing to do with the mental flow charts.
So you're saying if I don't know something, that I should trust what you say? Because I could do that. I know how to trust.
I never said that.
Oh.
You're thinking that. See, again.
This is why I say we need a flow chart, man.
See, sometimes you just got to say, oh, or okay. You know, when you just say okay, then things are okay. See, when you just say okay. I taught a lot of people in the construction, and there was this one fellow that was really good. He was a Mexican kid. And, you know, he spoke a little English. I picked him out of the crowd. I just got lucky. I picked him out of a crowd of guys, picked him up one day. And he worked with me for years. And anything I told him to do, he just said, okay. He never questioned me.
Whoa.
He never said anything. He never interrupted. He never contradicted. All he said was, okay. And you know, he learned faster than anybody else.
Where is he now?
Probably has his own business. He's in California.
Wait, where in California?
I have no idea. I haven't seen him for 20 years.
He doesn't go to the Skypes?
No, that's somebody else. That's a Mexican that I hired my construction. That's long past due.
I thought you worked with him on like
he's
the New
a very good example. He's a very good example because it was really cool working with him. And I would show him what to do, and he would just say, okay. That's all he'd say. He wouldn't say
anything. Like in your job. I thought you meant in like awareness.
I was listen to the words. I was a general contractor. I was doing construction, and he was a worker. I picked him up, and I showed him what to do, and he would just say, okay. And through that, he learned how to build, to saw, to do everything. He learned faster than anybody I knew because he just said, okay.
What were you building?
All kinds of things. From anything to houses to whatever. I built everything.
Whoa. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm trying to give you an example here, and that is that you will do fine.
So I should be your worker.
If you just be okay. No, we're in a different position here. It's not about. That was a
so
job.
That example doesn't apply.
Not really, just the okay part.
Oh, just that part. Gotcha. Yeah. I'll get it.
Yeah.
Don't need a flip chart for that one.
Again, Eric, you need to learn to just sometimes say, okay.
And then do whatever you told me, right?
See, you won't say it because that's really hard for you, isn't it?
Well, I was just trying to understand.
See, again, you're not saying okay, you're saying everything else but. See, you don't want to stop it, you want to keep going with it, and so you're going to stay confused by it because you won't just be okay. I wrote
Okay.
an image on it here.
But like, do I still need to do what you were saying as well?
See, again, you're not there yet. See,
I said
because
okay. I don't know
you
what you're
won't.
asking of me, bro.
I know you don't, because you just got to be okay. I am trying to help you, but you got to help yourself too. So you got to.
Okay.
He's got a big brain, Eric, that's his name.